Welcome back to Teach English Now. After spending time with Dorothy and the Tin Man, I hope you were able to identify certain strategies that Dorothy used in order to overcome the Tin Man's inability to move. You may encounter a number of learners similar to the Tin Man. Learners who do not connect reading with active strategies, with movement, and with the need to actually engage a text. These learners, in short, need to see reading as interactive and should be engaged not only with the text, but with others around them as well. Almost all lovers of books had a teacher that opened books and reading to them, and we want you to seriously consider the importance of your ability to make reading, by the very nature of your questions and your strategies, come alive. When thinking of reading as an interactive process, you might want to consider looking at reading in terms of a very simple tripartite structure. Active reading will generally involve pre-reading, reading, and post-reading activities. In this way, you will immediately see that reading is not just a solitary activity, but can be enhanced by the teacher and the class all throughout the process. Let's talk first about pre-reading activities. Did you notice that Dorothy invited the Tin Man to think about himself and his position on things? In other words, Dorothy connected the Tin Man's prior knowledge and opinions to the text. The use of "have you ever" questions allowed her to do this. Dorothy also provided background information to the Tin Man, all in an effort to increase interest and motivation. Again, special detail was spent connecting what the Tin Man might like. She talked about Thomas More getting beheaded, for example, as a way to make the text feel more relevant, current, or fresh. Other pre-reading techniques might involve pre-teaching vocabulary, telling a personal story that is similar to the reading, or showing pictures of the author or the reading. All of this, when done well, can create support and interest for the reader. As students read, there are also a number of activities that can be performed to make reading come alive. A teacher might invite students to look for certain key facts, take notes, or highlight interesting sections to share later in the class. Even stop after certain points to meet with a partner and discuss the reading or predict what might happen next. And for groups that need a lot of support, you might want to do read aloud or reading circle, wherein there are numerous techniques, such as choral reading, small group, leader and response, male and female turn-taking, filling in the missing word, and so forth. Furthermore, there are powerful teacher techniques, such as pausing, asking questions, inviting students to predict or share opinions, and these techniques can have a way of opening up a book to students' minds and imaginations. As an aside, theorists often discuss the importance of schema building when discussing reading. Schema building, in a sense, is what helps students predict well, which is, in turn, what helps students to read well. Schemata, plural for schema, is, in short, a packet of information or knowledge. These packets of knowledge are what help you to know what you are reading. Consider, for example, that in a story like Utopia, the chapters are actually organized according to packets of information that people can understand. For example, More decides to focus on geography, politics, occupations, and customs. Each of these topics, geography, politics, occupations, will immediately open up different ideas and concepts to different students. Some students may have studied customs, for example, just a little, and may only think about a few things when a teacher invites them to predict what is meant by customs. Food, music, dance. But others will have a fuller, deeper picture of what customs mean. Rites of passage, wedding and funeral traditions, religion, symbol. A wise teacher recognizes that a reading can be used to discover learners' previously built schemata and introduce students to new schemata. Finally, after a reading is done, you aren't done. There is so much that students can learn upon finishing. For example, now is the opportunity for learners to apply, synthesize, and evaluate a reading. It is also a chance for teachers to assess what a student was able to comprehend and recall. Notice that Dorothy wanted the Tin Man to evaluate in groups and get ideas that might help him with the final activity. And notice that the activity she created, Make Your Own Model Society, was yet again another way to share a learner's own views in contrast to Moore's. Thus, post-reading activities are perfect places to do wrap-up activities that focus on main ideas and evaluative questions. It is often with post-activities where you can really show how active reading can be. Think about how powerful these words are when it comes to creating a post-reading activity. Do, choose, transfer, answer, condense, extend, duplicate, model, and converse. To sum up, let me say it again. Reading is an interactive process, and a teacher can help students with readings by preparing pre-reading, reading, and post-reading activities. Pre-reading activities might include have you ever questions, providing background information, and asking students to predict. Reading activities might include taking notes, highlighting, stopping to discuss with a neighbor, and inviting students to read in groups. Post-reading activities can invite learners to summarize, evaluate, or as in the case of the Tin Man, recreate a model society. In our next video, you'll discover our last non-reader, one whose love of technology and self prevents him from doing anything except staying current on social media. #, thanks for watching Teach English Now.